Hey guys, and welcome back to another podcast episode. I recently wanted to dig deeper with my dream of becoming an advocate, or it's not a dream, or probably it's a goal for me to become an advocate of mental health awareness. And it's really, I find it right now. It just came to me just this moment that it's okay if you have anxiety. It's okay if you have depression. And it's okay if you have a lot of other mental health issues. But I just realized just a moment ago that it's very difficult and it's different if you have multiple cases at one time. You know what I mean? Because for me, I have for example, I have my days when my anxiety rises up, or when there are days that my depression would act up. And it's difficult when both of my anxiety and depression would, come together and just wanted to occur at the same time. And it's very difficult for me, especially that I'm really not open to a lot of people about my issues. And I it's fine with me because I really don't want to be a burden to my friends or to my loved ones. But I don't want to get to a point that I would also be dependent on my meds. And it's not the case, because sometimes when it's really, really hard for me, especially when I'm at the lowest pit of my mental health, I really would run to my medications because it would really help me to even just get out of bed. And I just wanted to really process a lot of things, because it's how you try to help yourself to go through healing. And for me, I just don't want to deal with the symptoms or the signs, but I wanted to go deep into the root cause. That's why sometimes it's very hard for me, because I tend to, when I want to go deep into the real cause or the main cause of such anxiety or depression, it would even lead me to a more lower pit, if you get what I mean. So I find it very challenging at the same time, because I wanted to be an advocate. At the same time, I'm currently affected by it. I'm currently undergoing the same mental health issues. So right now, I'm actually watching this Netflix documentary entitled Heal, and I'm still on the 30-minute mark of the documentary, but I really find this 3-word statement mind-opening. It says belief shifts biology. And a lot of patients there, the people that are being interviewed there, they have cancer, they have this inflammation, they have this, a lot of medical stuff, like trauma, physical trauma, accidents and stuff. And these are some of the challenging medical cases, of course, of all time. And it's somehow liberating to know that our body can actually heal its own self, its own tissues, its own, and the atoms of the cells in our body can actually be healed when we try to shift the focus, or we shift our thinking, our mindset. And it's one path or one healing process that I want to go deep into. I want to change it's been 2 to 3 years now that I've tried to change my mindset. My beliefs have been changed, my thinking, but it's different because I try to look at it in a different perspective. Generally, I've been living in this earth for 30 years, but I've just changed my mindset, my way of thinking, for just a couple of years. And it's somehow challenging for me, because I really need to go deep into how I change these things for myself. But I have a lot of 25 more or less 25 years that of habits, that I needed to change as well. So it's different. I think it's a different area as well, and I really want to dig deep more into this stuff. And I find my mental health for the past, I think my mental health struggles have started when I was, or the triggers began when I was like in high school, probably 13, 14, 15, when I had my first ex-boyfriend who was abusing me, like verbally, physically, emotionally. And I was pretty quick to try to move out of that relationship and just enjoy life without even thinking the consequences of that certain event in my life. And now I realize that it's very important, it's very significant that I also needed to try to pick up the pieces of that certain event in my life and really try to process everything and try to understand. And it's also different, and it's also difficult that I always have to remind myself that it's not my fault and I have nothing to do with, like, it wasn't really, it's not really me who made that happen. It was just, I was at the end of it. I was the receiver of it. And during that time, when I can still remember when I was still 15, 16, that I felt that this is life for me. This is the end of my life. And I even accepted that fate, that it was my destiny. And going through life, and from transitioning from high school to college, I even I didn't even change my perspective at all. I realized that in this life, I'll always be having difficulties, trials, and challenges. And right up to this point, I have never, it's been like 2 to 3 years now that I've just accepted that each trial, each pain, each difficulty has its purpose. And it's only now that I really embraced God's purpose for each of those things in my life that I needed to look back and try to understand that it's not my fault, that I needed to forgive myself in the process, forgive the people. But it's normal. If you have mental health issues, it's normal that you go through the process of grief. Like, I've been into my anger stage. I actually am on and off in my anger stage. I'm into, sadness, depression. But it's different when you are undergoing depression in the grief stage while you currently have depression. So it's really a huge another specialty. I think I could call it a specialty for me to undergo, to study, to discover for myself, because I can't really depend on certain people, because not everybody understands what I'm going through. Though I have self-help books and mental health books, and also I haven't gotten the session yet, but I have scheduled a session with our church counselor. She is not a counselor, but she is open to assisting me with this kind of stuff, so I'm open to it. And I'm just really not trying to rush this because I'm scared to undergo breakdown again. And it's really fine if you have mental health issues, mental health struggles, because everybody actually is going through something. It's just that not everybody's talking about it. And I'm really using my podcast or my platform, whatever social media that I have, to really raise awareness that mental health struggles is nothing to be ashamed of. Even taking medicines or medications for your conditions is nothing to be ashamed of. If you are if you think your medications is more assistive for your case compared to the other people that are not really positive when it comes to medication. So there are a lot of different people, different way, different path, and it really would depend on you. And I suggest, if you really are struggling, I would recommend you to have a consultation with a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And I would really recommend that, because helped me to understand my situation, because before it was all dark and I have no idea what I have. It's just that I have this heavy feeling all the time. I feel like the world's weight is on my shoulder. I feel like everybody's against me. I feel like God hates me. So it's a matter of really trying to get to the root cause of it, trying to understand what you have. And for me, for my case, I just wanted to share that I sometimes question God with what I have, or why do I have this certain mental health struggles. But I don't blame God. Like, I do understand that, these trials would really would just lead up to, increasing your perseverance, increase your strength, increase your wisdom, and along the way you would just be grateful that you have this, uncomfortability like events in your life, because it's when you will discover your weaknesses that will lead you to your strength. So it's I know I'm jumping from one place to another, but I just wanted to talk about mental health again. And I wanted to just put it out there that mental health struggles should not be kept in isolation. It's not about being afraid, or it's not about hiding it and keeping it to yourself, but even just a friend or a listening ear could help you. So I suggest that you dig deep in yourself, you reflect, and you try to understand where are those issues coming from. And yeah, that's it. I just wanted to talk about it now, and it's been a long time since I did a podcast recording, and that's it. And I just wanted to share that I'm actually also trying out this fast, like social media fast. I wanted to try it out if I can make it to a year without social media, because a lot of what I see in social media, like posts and like stories, can have a trigger in me, like when I get to compare myself with other people. I know we have different timelines, we have different seasons, life seasons, but I sometimes get envious, and envy is one of my heavy issues that I need to deal with also. So one thing that I saw that would help me is to really get myself away from social media, and I find it peaceful to be living in a private setting, like without posting everything on social media. And I really do appreciate the privacy that this social media detox or fast is giving me. At the same time, the peace that comes with it, and I get to spend more time with my family for the past couple of days. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share some thoughts that I have currently with mental health. And later today I'll be continuing the documentary in Netflix. If you haven't watched it, I do suggest you watch it, because the body can heal itself. It's parang yun yung it's what the movie or the documentary explains through the different interviews with different patients. So I really would also like to dig deep into that, especially with my yoga, meditation, and that healing process overall. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. See you in the next one. Bye.